I would say the Steel Series.
Steel Series, honestly.
Steel Series.
I'd definitely sit with the Steel Series.
By far.
Definitely the Steel Series.
If I had to pick one of these to pick up in game right now, it's going to be the Steel Series.
Gamers prefer our headsets. Find out why at steelseries.com.
So, welcome everybody to the Go Champions League. I'm the Boo from Germany and you're watching Penta against Team Dignitas. The first map will be dust2, picked by the Germans. The second map will be Mirage, decided by Dignitas. So, $30,000 up for grabs in this tournament. We have a 10-team league stage and the top 6 of those teams will battle it out in the playoffs to win 15,000 for the first place. So quite a lot of money on up for grabs for the teams. And of course we have the likes of Virtus Pro, Penta, Dignitas, Flipside, Property, Copenhagen Wolves, Gamers2, Hellraisers, Flipside and Mousesports, and last but not least Navi. Quite a few big names and a few contestants who are trying to break through, so we have a good mixture and composure of the two teams, not only the two but also the whole league. Let's see where this knife round will go. Actually, we won't start the knife round, somebody has crashed, so we will restart the knife round. Let's walk you through the past matches. Of course, Dignitas had played 4 games yesterday. They have won every single one of them. 16-8 on Mirage against Hellraiser, 16-13 on Cash. Then they went on to fight against Flipside, who didn't have the best of their days. 16-13 on Nuke. A really good scoreline in the first half by Flipside, but they just couldn't finish it off anymore. Dignitas had a good CT side on that map. And we are still not live, don't worry. 16-7 on Inferno then for Dignitas against Flipside. So one of the classic maps went to the Danes against the Ukrainian squad. And they, of course, have lost 3 matches in the Go Champions League already. Against Gamers2 and against Property, 10-16 against the Swedes on Nuke and on Inferno. Dignitas trying to catch up to the top, and they are successful in doing so. With 4 wins out of 7 matches, they are sitting in the 3rd spot, right behind Property and Virtus Pro right now. On the other side, we have Penta, who are currently not feeling too good. They at least managed to qualify for the next major by making it to the last 8 in ESL 1 Katowice. With a loss against LGB, they started off with a horrible scoreline, 16-3 in favor of the Norwegian squad on dust2. Then Penta took on Titan and they won 16-4 on Cash against the Frenchmen. Then they had to take on LGB once again to find their way into the quarterfinal. And they made it on dust2 again with a 16-12 scoreline. And Dignitas win the knife round, so they will swap to the CT side. Actually, a CT-sided team. dust2 is somewhat CT-sided, a little bit more CT-sided in the past than it was for the terrorists. Well, sorry, I have to start that sentence again. At first, dust2 was a terrorist-sided map. Now it's shifting back to the CT side. And Dignitas is feeling confident on that side. They already showed yesterday that they are up for a good defensive play. And they want to start on the blue. So let's see what Penta has in mind on the first round here in the best of 2. Of course, best of 2 means 2 best of 1s played after each other. And let's see if Nex can open up in lower tunnels. He actually doesn't find a frag over there. AZ is still waiting. Pim just traded a few blows, and there is Nex in B tunnels. He doesn't find the frag on AZ. Somehow the fish slipped through his fingers, and the fisherman is once again tasting a bitter taste in his mouth. Penta needs to re-rotate back to middle, find the composure again, find the posture, find the positioning to make it happen on either of the 2 bomb sites. Crystal now pushes forward into middle, but he's completely smoked off. Now he could enter CT spawn as the terrorists will make their way into the A bomb site from short. Pimp and Nico with 3 headshots will take down the terrorists as they approach the bomb site. Next is now the last man standing, and it did turn south really fast for Penta. As soon as they opened up on the A bomb site, it was almost over already. Pimp with a good first headshot, then Nico with 2 fast clicks of the USP will seal the deal. Dignitas with the first round on the board, and it is looking good for the Danes, just staying on fire just like they were yesterday against Flipside and Hellraisers. Now the Germans of course have a stand-in. It is NKJ. He's not a bad stand-in, not by any means, but compared to Troubly, he might be a little bit weaker. And considering the rather good performance that Penta had with Troubly, you could kind of figure out that Troubly fits in, at least in the game, but somehow he didn't fit in with his personality. So they removed him, and now they can probably still execute most of their strategies on the terrorist side. You know, they could go for the basic strategy all the time, at least on dust2. They could open up with 1 on long, 1 on B, and 3 in the middle, and they could put NKJ somewhere where he can do some damage, like Nex just did in A long onto Kier by Nico. Now with the scout, he tags Nex and then finishes him off with the USP, but he's under some fire from the A bomb side. NKJ now makes himself shine with the Tech 9 already, putting down Pimp in CT spawn, then gets refragged by MSL. While Dennis reloads his Tech 9, he's able to pick off AZ, and now Dennis and Speedy against the 2 remaining CTs. Nico finds himself the frag with 18 HP remaining. They're pushing in, and MSL with a jumping P90 spray will finish off Dennis and make it 2-0. But what a close round by Penta. The Tech 9 buy definitely paid off for them, and NKJ already did his job, almost turned around into the favor of Penta, and it would have been crucial for the Germans. Speedy now on top with 0 frags, but of course the rest of the squad only has 1 kill. On the other side, we have 4 for Pimp and 3 for Nico. 3 for MSL. They are doing the major work right now. Kierby still needs to find his shape as Nico opens up with the scout in middle onto Crystal, removing his counterpart in the next few rounds. Crystal will probably pick up the AWP and try to get the better of Nico. Kierby now with a refrag after NKJ took down Pimp, and Speedy recovers. Great frags there by the terrorists. Next with a headshot onto MSL, making it a 3v2 situation. And Nico still only has a scout, even though he could take Speedy and Next down with simple body shots. The CTs will boost each other up onto A short to have some more control over the middle section of the map, as Penta will rotate to the B bomb site. You see Nex already trying to find a kill onto the CT that is approaching him, and it is Nico from the B window. He will enter the bomb site, or at least try to slow down the terrorists on the approach. AZ is still nowhere to be seen. He takes his time to rotate. Nico is left alone in front of the B bomb site, and it's going to be hard to retake for the CTs. Now AZ finally in B tunnels, coming from behind, will rather be unexpected, but NKJ makes the more unexpected frag onto Nico, pushes out into the open, gets the better of the scout player, and now AZ against 3 terrorists. One of them has a scout, the rest has P250s and Tech 9s, and Penta will finish it off with 4 HP on Speedy and 20 HP on Nex. The Germans still manage to scrape the round and upset Team Dignitas, who were looking good on the pistol round, but somehow they were looking really shaky in the last 2 rounds. They almost lost the second, and now they've lost the 3rd round of this match. CSET 75s now for MSL and Kierby, P250s for the rest of the squad. They're trying to pull the upset right back at Penta, but they are not looking too successful with that. AZ and Nico already down to lower than 35 HP. NKJ with the opening frag, really doing his job quite nicely as a stand-in. Now Dennis with a swift kill onto AZ in middle, making it a 3v4 now thanks to Pimp's kill, but he quickly will be disposed of by Dennis. He's feeling good right now, 16 HP. Needs to watch out to not run into Nico. Nico is now on the box, and he finds a frag onto Dennis, then ducks away, but Crystal is faster than the ducking movement. Speedy with the last one onto Kierby. And it's going to be 2-2. Two terrorists killed, at least some economical damage dealt by the CTs. But of course, Team Dignitas needs to save one more round. They cannot afford to get their economy into turmoil by just forcing it up or going for FAMASes or a 3-player buy or something like that. Maybe a stack somewhere would be a good idea, and they are going for the 2-man stack on a short, and Kiabai is in middle, so they can get that pinching movement into middle if they spot the first terrorist going there. And one of them will be next with that silencer. He goes to work. The last bullet hits AZ in the head. Lucky for Next to stay alive, and that Pimp finds one, but he's quickly shut down by Dennis on catwalk. 2v4 situation now in favor of the terrorist. Dennis almost goes down to MSL there, but of course the AK headshot is strong, and now Nico closes out Speedy, picks up the AK and retreats into the deeper parts of the smoke grenade, hiding away, but of course the nade will find him. Redirected like a pool player, Crystal tosses the nade at the wall and finds the kill onto Nico in the smoke. 3-2 now. Penta had some trouble now in this one, and if Dignitas can make that rifle round work, I don't actually see too much trouble for them to rack up a few rounds in a row. Despite their shaky start, they kind of found their footing in the last round against Penta. And the Germans need to battle it out with the first AWP in the hands of Nico. Of course, Crystal still has the AWP from last round, but Next takes out AZ in the B bomb site, opening up for the terrorist. MSL now all alone, caught out in the open. Next will dispose of him as well. Swift entry for the terrorists onto the B bomb site. Now the CTs need to figure out if they want to save or not, and it's going to be the save. They are juggling around their players in positions, figuring out where to go. Of course, this is the perfect crossfire for Kiabai and Pimp, and Nico can secure a long. But Dignitas will lose another round to Penta. That quick opener, just like I said when the game was starting, 2 frags are sometimes enough for you to win the round against the CTs. And those 2 opening frags are courtesy of Next, both on the B bomb side. Of course, MSL and AZ need to watch out, or Dignitas need to watch out. The Penta squad likes to go into the middle section and then just see if they can find anything over there. And Dignitas, of course, reinforced the 3 rifles that they have saved, and they're going for the full buy once again. MSL now tagged by Crystal through the doors, down to 50 HP, weakening the B bomb site once again. So Dignitas need to be extra cautious on that. They not only have only 2 players over there, but they have one of them weakened down to 50 HP, and it is of course risky for them to go for any sort of informational play. They might risk that one player that is still alive in there. And Penta will once again inch forward into middle to see what is happening over there. Dennis gets pulled back though, so the initial aggression gets pulled back again to a long, where Kiabai and Nico have a good crossfire setup. Nico could get the first and then retreat into the deeper part of a long, and Kiabai could chime in with a few frags of himself. Let's see if Penta will actually go there. All depends on Nex and NKJ. If Nex finds a frag over at the B bomb site, could shift around, but 35 seconds it's going to be the A bomb site for Penta, and they are up against Nico and Kiabai. Nico already tagged, Kiabai taken out by Crystal. CSAT 75, heads up play by the AWP player, moving into A long with a short distance weapon, and now it's Crystal's time after Pimp got 2 headshots onto Dennis and Speedy, almost stalling the terrorist movement. NKJ gets the kill onto AZ, and MSL gets closed out by Nex on the other side of the map. Penta had the right kind of setup. They had smoked off Nico. The smoke was around here. Nico couldn't help his teammate, and Kiabai was killed way too fast. He was still standing in that corner. And of course, Crystal with a second tag through the door onto MSL, weakening the B defenders once again. And look at that, the terrorists moving to the B bomb site. AZ gets 1, but Dennis gets the better of his teammate. Now AZ running out of bullets. He gets himself the 3rd frag nonetheless, pulling it back for the CTs, making it 2v3. Speedy and Crystal are in control of the B bomb site, but they know that there's somebody close by, and they probably know that the CTs are rotating already, so they need to find a frag. And Nico finds the back of Crystal. He's sticking out his butt a little bit too far, going down, even though the bomb is planted. Speedy is caught between 3 CTs, and they don't waste any more time. They will go in for the frag and defuse the bomb at the same time. Dignitas with a 3rd round on the board, and it was about to get out of hand for them. Looking at the economy, you can see that they were about to go for a save, and they just squeezed out that buy round in the last round, so it was really the time to make themselves get back into the game. Otherwise, Penta would have made it 6-2. And the CTs would have needed to save, so it would have been a 7-2, even a really good scoreline for the terrorist side already. Now Nico finds himself the first onto Crystal. Good opener on a long. That's exactly what Dignitas need right now. They need to relax their nerves a little bit. It's going to be tense, no question about that. The 2 teams are trading blows already, and Team Dignitas needs something to remove a little bit of that pressure. Of course, that opening frag did quite the job for that. Now Penta once again on the opening, on middle. Kierby though with a frag through the smoke. Really good shot onto NKJ. Next, however, opens up onto AZ, and they know there's somebody around. Oh, Next almost tagging his teammate down. MSL still standing, still slowing down the CTs, the terrorists, and the CTs can rotate 3 players into middle. Next, however, takes out Pim straight away. Good flash work by the terrorists, and they are all down to low HP. Nico will remove one of them. Speedy and Next down to 9 and 18 HP right now. Kierby and Nico on the retake. Kierby with the rifle. He needs to do the major of this work, but wow, look at Nico with that close quarter shot. Speedy, however, takes out Kierby in some 1v1 situation. Nico just needs to find a 1 shot, and he does find it in the end. Speedy didn't get the better of Nico. 4 kills for the AWP player on the retake, and the bomb is still ticking a little bit too fast, maybe even. Nico is on the defuse, and he doesn't get it in the end. Oh, I thought it would have been safe, but Nico didn't have the defuse kit with him, and Penta actually win the round despite the great effort of Nico. The bomb was starting to tick a little bit too fast in the last second. It exploded into Nico's face, and even though he got 4 frags in the round, it wasn't enough. Speedy is the successor of this round and makes it 6-3 in favor of the Germans. Now Dignitas on the save. Next shows off his aim. So does Speedy, even though his aim is not quite as good as Nexus. It's a 5v1 situation nonetheless. Nico alone on the CT side. The Danes will surely lose it 7-3 right now. Dennis was just waiting for Nico to get around. The terrorists had everything sealed off already. They knew where the last CT must have been or must have walked to. So the Germans grabbed their 7th round, and now Dignitas is in desperate times. They pull the desperate measure. FAMAS for Pimp, Scout for Nico, and no helmet for AZ, Pimp, MSL or Kierby. And well, if you consider the fact that the AK kills you with a headshot, even if you have the helmet, it's not that big of a loss for the CTs right now. Penta with 3 players on a long. They're eager to get control of that. Kierby though turns around from the flash, gets himself 2 frags, and much needed frags they were. Next though replies and makes it a 3v3 again. The CTs still not... Well, the terrorists still not out of the thick of things, even though they won the trade. Now, thanks to Nexus' 3rd frag, they are in control of the A bomb site. The CTs are moving in from short and from CT spawn. Speedy closes out MSL. He was a little bit too loud and made his presence known too early as AZ disposes of Speedy. It's a 1v2. AZ down to 18 HP already. He needs to find a lucky shot. Maybe the jumping shot, but it's not going to happen. Next now has his sight peeled down onto the smoke. He expects AZ to come around, but AZ is quicker than both of the terrorists with 1 headshot and a nice frag onto Next. He finally gets around into the back of Dignitas, and this time the bomb will not be exploding. Dignitas upset Penta with that weak buy thanks to AZ's 1v3 effort. 4 rounds for the Danes, 7 for Penta, and this game couldn't be any closer. If the CT string together 2 rounds right now, Penta will be in some kind of trouble. They can't plant the bomb, of course. And then it's the time for the Danish squad to come back into this match. Of course, an 8-7 scoreline on the CT side would not be too bad for them, even if PENTA managed to win one more round. There's not too much to worry about for the Danes. They can still pull it back on their second half. But if PENTA make it 9-6, maybe even 10-5, it's going to be a little bit hard for the Dignitas squad. Let's see if they can pull it back. They at least have that spark in AZ, and they need to be kickstarted right now. They need to cheer themselves on and get themselves into the game. Kjærby already got himself 2 nice frags in long. He had a hard time at the start of this game. As you can see, he's only got 4 frags. And of course, he's one of the guys that Dignitas relies on sometimes. Now, Dignitas needs to have those 3 players step up. AZ already won a round for them. And PENTA, on the other side, can rely on Nex. He's carrying them massively with 15 frags right now. 4 only for Crystal. But he didn't see too much action as of yet. Actually, PENTA now exchanges the weapon. NKJ is going for the AWP. And Crystal is sticking with the AK. Dignitas still not out of that economical slump. The depression is still high for them. FAMAS for Pimp and Scout for Nico. But they made it happen in the round before, so why not go for the same buy in this one? PENTA with a A-sided build-up. Kjærby just firing off a few shots through the smoke. Now he's got himself the target, and it's Dennis just walking out. He must have heard those shots fired off into the smoke, and Dennis might have thought that Kjærby is reloading or something like that. It didn't happen. Kjærby with the first in the round. Speedy down to 5 HP already, and the terrorists will make their move on the A bomb site. Nico is there with a scout, and he can abuse that jump and jumping accuracy with that rifle, of course, in the A slope. PENTA once again pulling back out of a short, and they are not sure where to go actually. Look at them still trying to figure out. They want to go to the A-bomb site, there's no question about that, but they are not sure how to make it. Now Crystal with the opener in middle actually removes MSL, who had a really good position. Kjærby though with the refrag on a long, making it a 3v4 situation. Nico though loses a few of his HP and then allows his teammates to come in with the frags. Pimp with 2 of the FAMAS, Kjærby with 1 onto NKJ. Good job by Dignitas to hold it together, even though Crystal had the frag in middle. Dignitas didn't overreact or something like that. They didn't rotate their players in awkward positions. They stayed where they are, and that was when they got the frags. Pimp with 2, and MSL now down to Crystal on the cross. Crystal with 3 hits through those doors already. 2 times he tagged him, and now he has killed him. AZ, of course, knows that there's no point in trying to defend the B bomb site alone. He calls in for Pimp, and Pimp is coming in with a headshot. AZ with 1 as well, but Dennis with a reply onto Pimp, drawing it back to a 3v3 situation. The terrorists in control of B, but they know that AZ is on the doorstep, and AZ will actually move through the smoke. Speedy just fires off a few shots, guessing that AZ makes that move, and he gets a frag as well. 3v2. Nico and Kjærby on the retake, and they almost did it once already. They're moving in. Good flash work by Kjærby. Kjærby with the last bullet. He gets a frag onto Speedy. Makes it a 1v2. The bomb is in the hands of the CTs, and now Crystal needs to fight his way back into the round. He got the opener for the round. Now he needs to get the closing 2 frags. And they know where he's coming from. Nico with a good angle and the headshot onto Crystal. Good job by Dignitas, making that bomb plant impossible for PENTA, thanks to the bold move by Kjærby, who got the frag with the last bullet in his clip. 7-6 now. Dignitas coming back into the match, and as I said, if they string together a few rounds, the terrorists need to save, and that's the case right now. PENTA with a Tech 9 round. They have been successful with that already, so Dignitas needs to watch out. Speedy already on the move for the B-bomb side. AZ tries to flash out and just counter the bold aggression of the terrorist with a 2 kill of himself. Now Dan is just hopping and spraying and praying. Gets himself the kill onto MSL, makes it a 3v3. Next in middle, ambushes the CTs behind the smoke, gets himself 2 frags with the Tech 9. And those were awesomely important for the terrorists to hold on to the bomb, which is not yet planted. Pimp is in middle, but he will be backstabbed by Dennis. And Penta with a good Tech 9 push into the B bomb site. Catch the CTs off guard a little bit, even though AZ got himself 2 frags. MSL was not able to do the same. And Penta then relied on Nex once again. He made it happen in middle. And there it is, Christoph with another opening shot through the doors. The CTs need to smoke it off or do something about that as Speedy removes Careby from A long. All the doors are open for the terrorists right now. They could enter the A bomb site, they could enter B. It's just up to their decision right now. And they go for A long with 3 players. One is trailing behind a little bit, and next will be the lurker in B tunnels. Pulling off his magic just like usual. He spots himself the first target, and easy frag for him into AZ. Him and Nico, the last man standing, they are on short and CT spawn. One of them is killed. Pim gets himself the frag onto Nex, but it's not going to help. 4 terrorists still alive for Penta. And Pimp is just trying to get as many frags as possible in this last round. Of course, he's trying to go for the retake, but it's going to be very hard. And there it is, Speedy with a jumping headshot onto Pimp. 9-6 in favor of Penta. Even though Dignitas had that slither of a hope with 3 rounds in a row, Penta was able to stall them with that Tech 9 push. And of course, the last round was a forced buy for the CTs. Didn't have too much result for them. Now, of course, Dignitas on the terrorist side. As I said before, dust2 was a terrorist-sided map at the start of CSGO, and of course in 1.6 as well. But it kind of shifted towards the CT side. Maybe this is going to be one of those matches where it just gets turned upside down and both teams have a really good terrorist side. NKJ though opens up with his headshot onto MSL in a long. Speedy with 2 on short, and the terrorists are pushing through to the A bomb site. Pimp with a headshot. Oh, Nico with 2 as well. No, Pimp actually with 2, Nico with 1. 1v2 situation. Nico still has the HP, but he doesn't have the armor. Speedy has armor, however, and Nico facing off against Speedy. 1v1 situation now. Next closes out the last frag with the 5-7. Penta are lucky to have him right now. He just clutches and keeps the terrorists and the CTs in the first half at bay whenever it matters. And he's got 20 frags right now in 16 rounds. On the other side, we have Pimp and Nico with 15 each. And Dignitas, of course, with the forced buy. Tech 9s for 3 of the players. P250 for Pimp and Nico. They must be kicking themselves. They were so close in winning the pistol round. Somehow Speedy had to say a few words to Nico. And he whispered into Nico's ear that he rather drops his weapons and goes to die as soon as possible. Now MSL goes to die as well. NKJ with the FAMAS. Speedy unleashes the fury of the P90. Gets himself 2 frags. Nex was in there as well. And next with a second frag of the round. 11-6 in favor of Penta right now. Dignitas losing ground really fast. They weren't able to upset the CTs in the second round, so now they are back to a full save. And Penta will probably have an easy time getting that 12th round on the board. AZ the last man standing. Penta does not have any trouble. Speedy with 3 frags on long. And the Germans run away with the scoreline right now. Even though a 9-6 was not necessarily good, it was not horrible for the CTs of Dignitas. They would have needed the pistol round, however. Now they are on the first rifle round up against 2 P90s for Dennis and Nex on the CT side, and an AWP in the hands of Speedy. And the terrorists with the Galil and 4 AKs. MSL already tagged down to 54 HP. And Dignitas on the hunt for a few frags. AZ finds himself the first, on to next. And Crystal with a reply from short. Penta tries to hang on to control over middle. And Crystal will get that control back into the CT's hands with another frag onto MSL. 3v4, but Dennis is down to 15 HP. Crystal is down to 57. And Dignitas can still make it. They have captured the B bomb site. Pimp is there and he has it under control. Penta already lines up for the retake. They know that the terrorists will go to the B bomb site. And it's now up to Kjaerbye. Is he going to have the good timing against the CTs? Crystal has the good timing against Pimp. Removes him. Kjaerbye with another frag in the back of the CTs. Now Crystal gets the frag on the bomb carrier. And Speedy will close out Kjaerbye. Another very fast round. Crystal with 4 frags. Penta with the 13th round. And Dignitas with a good shot at winning the rifle. They weren't able to pull through, even though Pimp was on the B bomb site the whole time, basically. Dignitas was not able to get the backstab. Kjaerbye must have, or should have, taken out more CTs than he did. The Danes back on a save. 4 Tech 9s, sorry, and 1 P250, all of them on long, except for Pimp, who is coming from short. NKJ with an easy double kill. He flashes himself out into a long once again, gets himself another one. And now it's next to mop up a few frags as well. Speedy closes out the last. 14-6 in favor of Penta. Now it's looking really easy for them. Didn't expect Dignitas to just fade away on the terrorist side. I expected a little bit more of them, especially as I said that they might win both maps today. It doesn't look like they're going to win dust2. At least right now, they are down 8 rounds. And Nico with that AWP on the B bomb site doesn't see anything anymore. He's smoked off, he's flashed away as well. And the CTs are falling back into middle. They have 2 players on the door and 1 in the B bomb site, 2 at the A bomb site. Dignitas still not committed to any of the 2 bomb sites. They are still hanging back Kjaerbye and Pim on B and A, and a huge lag. Penta with 2 sudden frags take out Nico and MSL. The AWP is taken out of the hands of the terrorist. Pimp now needs to find a frag sometime soon if they want to go to the B bomb site. He needs to get in there and find himself the kill onto Speedy, who is watching the entrance to the B bomb site. The rest of the Dignitas squad still spread out throughout the whole map, and now Speedy actually goes to middle to check out and help his teammate out a little bit as Dennis called in for the rotation. Now Speedy is back on the B bomb site and he just missed the first player. He spotted him though by the footsteps, and this is Pimp and AZ going down to the AWP. Speedy picking it up, and a third one for him to make it 15-6 in favor of the German squad. What a showing by them. Really surprising to see them this good against Dignitas, who really had a good showing yesterday against Flipside and Hellraisers. It seems like the Danes fell asleep in the first half and they couldn't pick themselves up anymore. Now they are going for a straight B rush, it seems. They have 4 players over there. MSL will be the guy to hang back, and it's going to be Dennis with 2. Only 1 frag. Pimp is going to work his magic and turn next. Though moves into the B bomb site. He gets himself 1, 2 frags, 3 frags for next in the B bomb site. MSL is the last man standing for the terrorists, and Speedy gets himself 1 to get the closing frag and make it 23 for him, 26 for Nex, and a 16-6 scoreline in favor of the German squad. Penta with an almost flawless CT side. So Penta will win the first map. Let's see what they can do on the second. It was the pick of Mirage and of course the pick of Dignitas.